Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and I am back from vacation. So that means you get to see my smiling face now. And let me tell you, it is smiling because I am relaxed, which is a good thing. I actually saw a post on Facebook from a reptile person, and one of the things it asked is like, I didn't comment because I forgot about it, honestly. If you want to know why, I'm not going to get into why I forgot about it. I just did. But it was, if you have a lot of animals, you have to get burned out. What do you do to deal with burnout? I didn't even go through the comments. Here's what I do. Take a break. Travel. When I'm gone for a few weeks, I'll still do animal stuff. I'll still post on social media, but I'm not in the day-to-day grind. And it gives me a break. Then I'm excited to come back, right? I'm excited to see some of my animals. I'm excited to see how they're doing. To do that, though, you've got to make sure you've got some people to help watch it. So I got to give a big shout out to, Kurt, Caleb, and Caden. Why do all you assholes have a C in the name or a C sound? Like,
that's better than M.
I mean, by God, it's gonna like Kurt, Caleb, Caden. I'm gonna screw that up at some point. But big shout out to those guys helping hold down the fort, keeping things running while I'm gone. Much appreciated. And it didn't go smooth, right? It didn't always go smooth. So things that would normally happen that I'd have to deal with on some level, that everybody else got to deal with instead of me, was we had the draining the air conditioner back up and cause a water drip. So that had to get fixed on the fly, right? So Kurt had to handle that. There was eggs laid, there was eggs hatched. All those things had to get done. My first day coming back, I found more eggs laid. It's a good day, right? So you're still right in the thick of it. But all those things that would come up, somebody has to still deal with. So I got to give them a big thank you before we get started. And I thought, what do I want to share with you guys coming back? Well, I'm going to tell you need to take a break every now and then if you get burned out. Yes, maybe it's not a break. Maybe you just got to find what you need to do to kind of reset that for yourself. We're all different. Kurt probably wants to go out in nature and hunt something like a bear. I don't know. Me, I want to take a picture of a bear. We're a little different on that. I don't know what Caleb does to relax. Couldn't tell you. I don't know if the man does relax. We tell him to, but anyway, I thought, what would I share with you? I could tell you about my vacation, but y'all aren't here for that. It's not what you're signed up for. You don't give a shit where I went or what I did. I will share some of that on Patreon. But I thought maybe I could share with you some of the animals I'm most excited to see when I first came home. So I picked 3 to check on to show you that, or one of the first 3 I'm going to open to check on because they make me happy. We'll start with this guy right here. Truth is, I've already opened pretty much everything in here. But these are some of the 3 that just can't help but just get into. One, I love this snake, man. I just do. This is just a straight Calabi, right? I've had her since birth, raised her up. She was born here in our facility. And I think, pound for pound, for a simple 3-gene snake, that's 3 old genes. Man, this is pastel spider calico, right? These things just look freaking awesome. I just love these. These Calabis are just smoking. Love, 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 love. So that was the first one. I remember the other one. What was my other one? Oh, yeah, now I remember. This is the other one I picked to show you, one of them. This banana mahogany, because it's just a little male, and it's just a 2-gene, so it's nothing too crazy, right? But I just love the paradox on this animal. So it's become one of my favorites. I tend to check on it every time right away when I first come over. It's one of those animals, I got new people here, I always show them this animal because, you can kind of give that basic genetic talk, right, about incomplete dominant genes and how the recessive genes work and how that's what we do. And then you can show them this so they can see that sometimes nature doesn't play by the rules. This being a prime example. So this is always one of my favorites for that. It's probably my best. I've got a couple paradoxes in here. This is probably my most visually, I'd say, appealing one or popping one. And like I say, too, it could be a chimera even because you got that kind of split head, but no way to really know for sure. Put that thing back in there. Certain snakes there is. I had a buddy one time that they had one that we were actually able to identify as a chimera and not absolutely 100%. No, we did the video on it. You can search for it. Not a paradox. It was because when it was bred, how it threw babies. So you can sometimes tell, but not always. Actually, take that back. It was a visual representation of how it looked because the genes it was displaying could not be paradoxical because they were allelic. So it had to be 2 separate snakes or it wouldn't even work coding that way. Well, my other ones, this is one of my favorite snakes I've ever made. And I know you guys just saw this because Caleb did a rack tour. I'm sure this girl was in it. But damn, y'all, I just love that animal. Love, 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 love. Obviously, it's axanthic. Pastels in there. Yellow belly is certainly in there. I'll show you the belly. We think maybe fire. We're not 100% certain on that until we breed it out. It could be a really nice yellow belly. Pastel, but just cool. I just love the way this animal came out and the way it looks. Pattern's awesome. She's just so good looking. And she needs to get a little bit more size so we can start breeding her and then kind of find out some more, which I'm excited about, girl. You got to keep growing, though. This is truly one of my faves. You know, whoop. Hey, no, get in there. I mean, I check on some other ones, too. Like, I check on all of them. I mean, literally, Kurt and I went through this entire wall while he's here. You know, but those are like the first opens, right? Those are the ones I just can't wait to see this time. If I go on another trip and come back, it'll probably be 2 or 3 different ones. It's just kind of whatever's tickling my fancy. But I love those animals. And it is so nice to be able to be gone for a bit and reset my attitude, right? You know, get excited about what I'm doing again. Man, that's always wonderful. So if you're into this heavy, and here's what happens. I'm going to be blunt with y'all. This is something like I probably would have talked about on Patreon, but we're going to talk about something different. I'm going to share with y'all. You know, one of the things we like to talk about there even more so is kind of more of our personal experience. So as you're coming up, because, you know, maybe you're already at my size, you're going to be like, yeah, bro, I can relate to that. Or maybe you're smaller, just starting out. When I first started, right, I remember having my first few snakes, and they were what I would go deal with to be my escape. They were what I did because I had stress. They would alleviate that, right? And Kurt and I have talked at length. There's times I miss those days when we were a lot smaller. Because of that, you know, now this is a source of great joy, but it's also a source of stress. There's always shit that needs done. Constantly. I'm always behind trying to play catch up, it seems like. And the minute you get caught up, there's just more shit that needs done. It's just a constant thing, and it takes a village. You know, whereas before, I could have a stressful day at the work back in my cop days for whatever reason. I could come home. I only had like, you know, I started 3 and then I went up to like 12, which is nothing. That's so easy. I could work with those animals and you know, it put me at ease, man. That would take away my stress. Where now it's like, shit, man, I got to get to work, come home, get here. I got to get this much shit done. Oh, I found this and this too, so I didn't get this done. So I got to come back here. Like, it's just a different feeling and vibe now. So what I'm getting at is in your transition of time, right? You could probably start off and your snakes are your escape. They are. But then as you get more and more and more, if you grow to a certain point, they are no longer that escape. And they're now a source of both joy and stress instead of just joy. So be prepared for that. When you get to that point, if you don't do something to deal with the stress it adds, then you'll lose the joy. It'll become less joyful. And there are days where I get to that point where I'm like, man, this is a lot of fucking work. And it's a lot of grind. And is this really what I want to do? Because I don't see my family. I don't see my wife. I don't do a lot of shit. You know, I'm either at work, I'm here, or I'm in the gym. That's the 3 places you're going to find me right now. I know I don't look like it, but trust me, I'm there a lot. Not this kind of gym. It's a different kind of gym I go to, so I'm not trying to like get bulky. But point I'm making is, you know, this starts to become that thing. You're like, just one more thing I have to do. After being gone for 2 weeks and back, I look forward to coming here. I couldn't wait to go to the day after work. I'm like, man, go change, get my ass over here, back to filming, back to looking at animals, back to doing what I really like to do. Now it's a source of joy again. Give me 3 or 4 months, that'll change. But guess what'll happen? I'll disappear again for a week or so and then be right back. So that's how I clean myself out, how I flip my switch. If you're going to grow to a size, man, you've got to figure out how to reset yourself, or you'll get to a point where it's no longer fun, no longer enjoyable. So you got to figure that process out if you want to get there. That's also partly why we decided this is the size we want to be, and we don't plan on expanding past this anymore. And we kind of grew slow, found a spot that's like on that edge, and said, okay, we're done. No more. That's where we're going to stay. So that's a little piece of advice from me to you. I'm happy to be home. Happy everything's doing well. You know, saw some new babies too that hatched while I was gone. So all really exciting. All right, Curtin, you want to add or any questions?
So that snake that you showed, the first one,
yes,
the Calibi.
Calibi.
That's not from California?
It is not,
okay.
Thankfully.
Just making sure.
No, I do animal stuff when I travel. I do animal stuff, and I will share my animal experiences on Patreon, which you should check out. Not for me, but for the Discord community. It's worth it. Anyway, thank you all. I will see you all next time.